Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. This is the beginning biblical Hebrew course. As we continue in the book, the First Hebrew Primer, third edition, this is chapter 15, the chapter on possessive endings and singular nouns, the exercises for that chapter. So again, as we start this new chapter and looking at some different things that we need to remember, hopefully you've spent some time with the information and been practicing your endings, and you've also done the exercises. We'll review them here and give you an opportunity to listen to them and work with them. And in exercise 1, we're going to read and translate the words here. And as usual, I'll read the Hebrew across, but we will also do the translations and just kind of look it over. But the main thing to point out to you again is the importance of recognizing these endings. So yud is me or my, and then the kaf with the kamatz at the end, kaf sofit, kamatz would be you. So anything with a kaf is you something. This is you masculine singular. You. Let me pull my pointer up here again. So you masculine singular, you feminine singular, and then the vav with the cholim. So the cholim vav is the vowel here, O. But occasionally you will see this just as a vav by itself, but this would be his. So again, we're talking possessive. So this is I or my, you, and his. All right, so let's read it across. Line 1. Yadi, Levi, Nafshi, Avi, Shemi, Adoni, Achi, Darchi. My hand, my heart, my soul, my father, my name, my Lord, my brother, my road or my way. Line 2. Avdecha, Amecha, Shimcha, Toratecha, Artzcha, Ishtecha, Beitcha, Mishpatecha. So your masculine singular, your servant, sorry, and then your people or your nation, your name, your Torah or law, your land, your wife or your woman, your house, and your judgment or justice. 3. Avich, Roshech, Nafshech, Malkech, Benech, Yadech, Divarech, Ohelech. So your feminine singular, your father, your head, your soul or spirit, your king, your son, your hand, your road or way, your word or thing, and then your tent. Line 4. Bito, yado, livo, amo, avado, mikomo, torato, aviv. So his daughter, his hand, his heart, his people, his servant, his place, his Torah, and his father. And this is one of the things I was telling you about here, where that vowel could lose its vowelness and become a consonant, or be used as a consonant here with just the vav sound. So instead of avio, it's aviv in this case. So just don't be thrown by that. Let's continue now, number 5, with the her possessive ending. So rosha, am'a, nafsha, isha, beta, darcha, achiha, admata. So again, notice the dagesh in the hay separates it from the idea that this is a feminine ending. That dagesh will tell you that it is the possessive ending, her. But notice there are exceptions. This hay doesn't have a dagesh in it, but it does have a kamatz, which doesn't normally appear after the hay at the end of a word. So that is your clue that is the possessive ending rather than a feminine ending. All right, although it's all feminine in one sense. So let's translate. So her head, her nation or people, her soul or person, her man or husband, her house, her road or way, her brother, and her land. Number 6. Now we have new, the new ending, which is our. Malkenu, Artsenu, Benenu, Avinu, Lachmenu, Libenu, Amenu, Shmenu. So our king, our land, our son, our father, our bread, our heart, our nation or people, our name. So now let's go to the next plural that we have here with the chem ending. Chem would be you or your masculine plural. Okay, chem, if there's no chen here because that's not general use, but if you did see a chen with the nun ending, that would be your feminine plural. Let's read through here. Nafshechem, enechem, avichem, admatchem, Darkechem, it's kind of a tough one. Darkechem. Roshechem. Bitchem. Tzonechem. All right, so your, masculine plural, soul. Your eyes. Your father. Your land. Your road. Your head. Your daughter. Your flock or herd of sheep or goats. So the only thing to point out here is that bit, okay, you might want to, you see the bet and the tav, and so you might want to make that house. So you have to decide, is it house or daughter? Well, the difference is house would have the yod in between the bet and the tav. So that tells you it's not house, but that it's daughter. So bat becomes bit. All right, 8. So now we have the am ending. Am is their, masculine plural. If it had a nun at the end, it would be feminine, their feminine plural. But again, as your book has stated before, it doesn't include those two forms because they are not regularly used in Torah. But if you were to see the difference, as you've learned before, the mem is a masculine ending and the nun is a feminine ending. All right, so let's go through this and translate. Let's read it first. Artsam, Darkam, Zaram, Kaspam, Lachmam, Avihem, Achihem, and Mishpatam. So translating, again, this is their, masculine plural. So their land, their road or way, their seed, their chair or seat or throne, their bread, their father. Notice that you have a different vowel here. Rather than the am, you have a segol, so you have m, but it's still, again, that masculine ending here is by itself is your clue. There's no other consonant in front of it other than the hey. Okay, so in this case, you just have to remember that that's the, if you will, irregular form of it. But again, so their father and their brother and their judgment or justice. All right, so that's exercise 1. So we went through that again just to give you more practice with it, to see how it works. Make sure that if any of these threw you when you did them on your own before coming to the video, make sure that you recognize what you got wrong and how and why you got it wrong. All right. So let's do exercise 2 now. This is going to be different from your book in the sense that your book is the idea of matching. So they gave you these words here, and you were to match them with their correct English. So if you've done that, that's wonderful. If you haven't done it, you'll do it here. But my main concern is I just want to make sure that you do recognize how to translate this, even without the clues from the matching. So that's what we're going through now. So what you want to pay attention to here are the endings, because unlike exercise 1, where you had all of the endings going across, each one of these words has a different ending. So we'll see how we do with that. So let me read the Hebrew across on line 1, and then we'll come back and translate each of the words. So we have Avich, Adoni, Admato, Achich, Ima, Beti, Gevolenu. Okay, so let's go through. So we recognize the word father, and we recognize that this is the kaf ending, so it is you or your feminine singular, your father. Adoni, so we have the E ending, which is my Adon, my Lord. Admato, there's the O or Vav O ending, which is going to be his. So his earth or his ground. Achich, again, just as here, let me grab this pointer. As with this one, this is the feminine singular ending. So your brother. Ima, the feminine her ending. So her people or nation. And Beti would be again my bat, my daughter. And then Gevulenu, nu, is our border. All right, let's read the second line. Dracham, Zaro, Harbi, Levavecha, Malcha, Mekomo, Nafsham. So Ham would be your masculine, your masculine plural. Oops, nope. All right, so let's go back. I made a mistake here, and this is why I saw the kaf, but this is a kaf with the dagesh in it, so it's very different. So if it were without the dagesh and the word itself didn't include that kaf, then this would be your masculine plural. But since it's derek, which is road or way, then this is just am right here. So that would be their masculine plural, their road. Zaro, his seed. Charbi, cherev, sword, my sword. Levavecha, your masculine singular levav, your heart. Malcha, her king. Makomo, his place. Nafsham, so here we have the am ending again, which would be their souls, their soul. Okay, last line here. Avdechem, Amenu, Tzonecha, Kolechem, Rosho, Ruchi, Shema. So this is Chem, so that's going to be what I thought this was. That's going to be your masculine plural. Your slaves, your servants. Nu, our nation or people. Tzon, cha, your masculine singular, flock or herd. Kolchem would be your masculine plural voice. Rosho is his head. Ruchi would be my spirit, my breath. And then Shema would be her name, her name. Right? So occasionally, like for instance, you know the verb Shema, same letters, but this dagesh in the hey is your clue that this is not. It's one of the clues. There are some others as well that this is not the verb, but rather it's Shem or Sham. I'm sorry, Shame, which would be name. So her name, her name. So exercise 3, just straight read and translate. But again, I think we're going to go through this one just because we've come into this new chapter, this new section. A lot of things that you're learning, picking up. So we're going to read and translate together on these. So this may be a three exercise videos for this chapter. We'll see how it goes here. So let's go ahead and read the Hebrew first for line 1. Yaakov Yatsa Yerushalayma im basar behemto kemincha. So Jacob, Yatsa, went forth or went out to or toward Jerusalem with the meat of his cattle, behemah, the meat of his cattle. So, again, since we're taking time here, so I said the meat, and you might say, wait a minute, but there's no ha here. But remember that your possessive ending makes this noun definite. If this noun is definite, so is this one. So it's the meat of his cattle. Kamincha, as an offering, as a gift or as an offering, mincha. All right. So Jacob went forth to Jerusalem with the meat of his cattle as a gift or as an offering. All right, line 2. Asiti et hamincha hazot le'imi leyom ha'em. So asiti, I made, hazot hamincha, this gift, lamed, for my mother. For the day of the mother, or Mother's Day. Okay, Layom Ha'em would be the idiom for Mother's Day, the day of the mother. All right, line 3. Let's just read it through all the way here first, or translate it. So I made this gift for my mother on Mother's Day. Okay, 3. Anshe iri yishpato bein tzoni uvein tzonecha. So men, the men of my city will judge between my flock and between your flock. All right. Line 4. Ahavti basar im lachmi ach lo achalti basar b'chol yom. So ahavti, I loved meat with my bread. Ach, but I don't eat meat every day. Okay. Number 5. Shalachnu et kaspenu lemalkenu lekisu. So we sent our silver to our king for his throne. 6. Hamelech hahu haya gadol v'anachnu shamarnu et kavod shamo. So remember, hahu can be translated as that. So that king was great, and we, Shamar, guarded the honor of his name. 7. Damam al artzenu leolam. So, being their blood was on our land forever. So exercise 4, and this one is a little different from the book in the sense that this is a fill in the blank with the form of the underlined noun, which agrees with the second half of the sentence and then translates the entire sentence. So I went ahead and put in the word in the blank. So if you've done that exercise and it doesn't agree with mine, then one of us is wrong. It could be me, so let me know. But bottom line is, all we're going to do here is to translate the sentences as we go through it. All right. So let's read them through first, and then we'll translate. Line 1. As soon as I get my pointer up here. Alaiti al kisi vehu ala al kiso. So aliti, I went up on my throne, and he went up on his throne. Okay, line 2. Adam yatsa me artso vi'ata yatsata me artsecha. So number 2, a man went out from his land, and you went out from your land. Okay, number 3. Avraham yishmor et kavod malko v'hasarim yishmeru et kavod malkam. Okay, so Abraham will guard kavod, the honor of his king, and the chiefs will guard kavod, the honor of of their king. Number 4. Hem lachu et hazahav la minchatam ve'ata lekachta et hakesef la minchatecha. Okay, so number 4. They took the gold for their offering, and you took the silver for your offering. Number 5. Ahav Yaakov et ishto v'ani ahavti et ishti. So Ahav, Yaakov, Jacob, loved his wife, and I loved my wife. And they all lived happily ever after. 6. Moshe yichtov et mishpato v'Naomi tichtov et mishpata. So Moses will write his judgment, and Naomi will write her judgment. Okay, number 7. Amadti lifnei ochole belayla viat amad lifnei ocholech. So number 7 is I stood before or in front of my tent in the night, and you stood in front of your tent. Okay, and number 8. HaKohen yatsa im beno mimitzrayim ach anachnu lo yatzanu im banenu. So the priest went out with his son from Egypt, but we did not go out with our son. Exercise 6. Read and translate, just straightforward, but we'll go ahead and read and translate together. Number 1. Ma shmech. Question, so I guess I can read it as a question. Ma shmech? Shmi Sarah Vishem Achi Moshe. So what is your name? My name is Sarah, and my brother, or the name of my brother, is Moshe. Or we might translate it in English as my brother's name, but then literally it's the name of my brother is Moshe. Line 2, number 2. Mi yishpot bein gevuli uvein gevulecha. Aviv yishpot. So number 2 is who will judge between my border and between your border. Aviv, his father, will judge. Number 3. Mi kara el betenu ha-ketana. So who called to our daughter, our little daughter, ha-ketana, our little daughter. Anachnu karanu el bitchem ha-ketana. So anachnu, we called to your little daughter. Number 4. Mi yatsa mitoch admati ha'hara. Who went out from the midst of my land toward the mountain. Anochi yatzati im tzoni me'admatcha ad gevul harim. I went out with my flock from your land as far as the border of the mountains. Number 5. Et mi ahavta bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha. Translating that part on its own. Who did you love with all of your heart and all of your soul? Ahavti et bani v'et beti bechol levavi uvechol nafshi. I loved my son and my daughter with all of my heart and with all of my soul. Number 6. Ma ra'item misha'arei beitchem. What did you see from the gates of your house? Ra'inu et achichem v'et damo v'et harbo beyado. We saw your brother and his blood and his sword in his hand. Number 7. Ma tochal tachat ha'etz al yad me hayam. What will you eat under the tree near the water of the sea. Ochal et basar tzoni v'et lechem ami. I will eat meat, or the meat, of my flock, my herd, and bread, the bread of my land, or my people, my nation. Number 8, last one on exercise 6. Mi yimloch al avdechem bimei hamilchama. Who will rule over your slave in the days of the war? Avinu yimloch al ha-avadim bayamim ha'ele. Our Father will rule over the slaves in those days. So we will end this here with chapter 6. So the next video, we're just going to be focusing on chapter 7, and then we'll have a third video in this chapter for exercises that we'll be doing Tall Tales and Ruth. I think that'll work out the best, so we're not spending way too long a time on the exercises in each particular video. So I hope this was helpful. I don't know, we spent a lot more time doing the translations because I wanted to show you the endings and how it all comes together. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If it was, let me know. But otherwise, we'll probably do the same thing in 16, again, since we're getting a lot more practice in possessive endings, plural nouns, adjectives, all of that we'll be covering. So I think we'll do that in 16 too, but we'll see how it goes. But at any rate, I like to keep our time on these to under an hour. This was 50 minutes. This will be about 50 minutes long. I think that's probably good enough. So we'll do exercise 7. I don't know if that'll take quite the full hour, but we'll just focus on 7 next video, both the reading and the translation, but exercise 7 as well. Okay, and then Tall Tales and Ruth will close it out. Let me know if there's anything else you need. Be sure and use your resources. Quizlet available to you. Link in the description page. The Google Docs available to you. Link in the description section. And also, speaking of Google Docs, now in chapter 16, I have a handout that I may put up on Google Docs early. Because it does list all of the possessive endings with all of the adjectives. So I might put that up early if that is at all helpful to you, but I don't know. We'll see. So check Google Docs, see what you see there. But otherwise, we'll be back next video with chapter 15, exercise 2, exercise number 7. Thanks for joining me. This is Tom Averna on Yeshiva B'nai Noach. Shalom.